Welcome to the More You Know podcast. This is Ethan. Today I have on indie singer Bethany Paige Campbell, and we spoke about artistry, stardom, what it means to be an up-and-coming artist as an indie singer, and the new single that she's going to be dropping tonight. Hope you enjoy.
I am Bethany Paige Campbell.
All right, that's wonderful. Uh, where are you from, and what genre of music do you make? Because you say that you are an indie pop singer.
Yep. So I am from Southern California, Temecula to be exact, which is in the Inland Empire. And I mean, indie pop pretty much just
Mhm,
describes the genre that I make. It's pop music, but with
mhm,
kind of that singer-songwriter side
mhm,
to it.
mhm. That's awesome. Yeah. And what were some of like your early experiences with music? What type of impact did living near arguably one of the centers of entertainment, like LA, which you cited as a place that you hope to live at someday, have on your views of like stardom, music, and entertainment?
So it's interesting that you ask about like growing up living near LA, because growing up, I didn't really
Hmm.
go up there very often. It's about like 2 hours away from us, but anyone who lives anywhere near LA, that's not like a light trip. Like the LA traffic, it's no joke. But growing up, whenever we did go to
Hmm.
LA, it was always like a special occasion, an event of some sort. It usually was some kind of like entertainment or the arts education kind of like trip up there. So I think I just always had this
Hmm.
idea of it as like close by, in reach, but like
Yeah.
not super, still kind of like that whole different world. And it always kind of was that world of like, entertainment
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
the arts and music and all of that. But I've gotten the chance to go there a little more often.
Hmm.
Just in the last couple years, I've been going to some concerts up
Hmm.
there, like shows, my friends' shows and events and stuff. And I really enjoyed getting to do that.
That's great. What sort of like experience are like the concerts around there? Is it just like sort of like the place for concerts, the place for like that sort of like music vibe, or is it just kind of just the same as any other music venue place, you know?
I mean, the only places I've ever really gone to concerts are either LA or San Diego. Like whenever an artist announces a tour or anything, the my two options to get to go see them
Hmm.
is going to be either LA or San Diego. It just kind of depends. Like LA has a little bit of everything. I've been to like really small shows.
Yeah.
I've been to the Troubadour
Hmm.
is a historic venue. I've been there twice. I've yet to really go to like any of the big
Hmm.
concerts, like arenas, stadiums, but I'd like to at some point.
Hmm.
But then when you
Perform
compare
at
it
one
to
at
like,
some point.
what's that?
Perform at one at some point too.
I mean, yeah. Every venue that I have gone to, it's always a thought in my head, especially like the Troubadour. I would
Hmm.
love to perform someplace like that someday.
Hmm.
That would be really cool.
That's great. Yeah. And I was curious, um what made you decide to pursue music and kind of describe the flurry of emotions that came about from that point where you like were like, man, I just want to do music to now having like three singles out. You had like Clyde and the Calm or something, Calm Before the Storm, and then
Calm Before the
today
Storm.
Treadmill. And
Tonight,
then
the
today the
treadmill.
new one. Hello, everyone. If you'd like to support The More You Know, please follow and subscribe. I cannot believe that after all the YouTube videos I used to watch when I was younger, that suddenly I have to do this call to action for the viewers. But anyone who does that, anyone who enjoys the episodes, anyone who watches through seriously all of them, or at least just a few, that effort would be greatly appreciated. And thank you all for listening. Now let's get back to the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. What's that like?
Um, yeah. So I mean, growing up, I was one of those kids that wanted to be a million different things at different times. I can never really make my mind up. And a lot of them were just
Hmm.
like whims, things that I never actually even tried or knew that I would even like, but it was like, oh, that would be cool. That would be cool,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
I started writing songs in 2020
Hmm.
as more just something to do during the pandemic. And then
Uh-huh.
I think it was like 2022 that I actually learned how to play an instrument for the first time. I started taking voice and piano lessons. I worked with a songwriting
Hmm.
coach a little bit. And I started to just really get deeper and deeper into it. And I do remember like this exact moment. I think I was getting coffee with my mom, and I was just thinking about like what do I want to do after high school? And I just realized like music is what I want to spend all of my time doing. So that's why it makes so much sense to me to pursue it, because I realize that a bad day in music is still preferable to me than like a good day doing anything else. So I was like, well, if that's really true, if this is what I want
Hmm.
to do every day, day in, day out, it just makes sense to pursue that. So
Interesting. And you got like what sort of things did you take away from those piano lessons and songwriting lessons that you've since incorporated into the music you make now? Like like at what point does it shift from everything that I've learned then to now it's like self-recursive teaching where you're like teaching yourself how to write the new stuff, or you're listening to like Taylor or some other influence of yours, and it's like you're like, oh wow, I like the way that they phrase that or they did this melody or whatever. Like where does it go from the traditional teaching to like autonomous teaching?
I mean, that's something that has never really come easy to me, like teaching myself how to do anything. That was why I wanted to do lessons in the first place. I was like, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to teach
Mm-hmm.
myself this kind of stuff. But then like over time, you do kind of learn how to learn, and you
Mm-hmm.
learn how to pick apart music and how to kind of like experiment and just have fun and try things out. And I think the more you kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you got to flop around and try things and maybe it doesn't really work, and you kind of learn from that. But I mean, honestly, the only
Mm-hmm.
reason I stopped taking lessons was I stopped having it in my budget. But I like
Mm.
to think I've done a pretty good job of continuing to teach myself. And I do like to try to always just have like a learner's mindset and always look for something to learn.
That's great. And you mentioning budget actually is a great transition to this next sentence, this next question I have, sorry. How different is it being an indie artist financially compared to being signed to a label? And was there a strict reason why you didn't want to sign and kind of make it, I suppose, a bit more of a comfortable experience at the beginning?
Well, I haven't experienced being signed to a label yet, so I can mainly only speak from an indie artist perspective right now. I'd say it's probably pretty
Mm-hmm.
different. When you're an independent artist, you are your whole team for the most part, unless you are
Mm-hmm.
able to amass your own team, which is a goal of mine. But
Mm-hmm.
like at the moment, it's pretty much just me and whoever else that I'm collaborating with. I have to be my own promoter, my own marketer, my own like graphic designer, things that seem like they have nothing to do with music, but you just have to try and be your
Mm-hmm.
own team in that regard. Um, when it comes to like the reason that I haven't signed or haven't really looked into signing yet, when I first started out, I think I was pretty anti label, or more just like wary of a label. I've heard a lot
Mm-hmm.
of horror stories, like, I mean, Taylor Swift's story. Even someone as powerful and successful as Taylor Swift
Mm-hmm.
has been royally screwed over by her label in the past. And it's just so easy to do. You hear these contracts
Mm-hmm.
that, like, in any other business would probably be completely illegal, but in music, it's just standard.
Exactly.
And I think I have like a pretty
Yeah.
deep
Yeah.
rooted
Yeah.
fear of like getting stuck in a bad situation and like signing a contract like that, losing ownership of my music, getting stuck in a situation like that. It's very scary to me. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've started to kind of come around a little bit more to I think I'm just in a place in my life where I'm trying to be open to life, like pleasantly surprising me, and open to
Mm-hmm.
things working out for me instead of just overthinking and assuming the worst in things. So, because of the
Mm-hmm.
whole budget thing and the whole resources and the team wanting to be able to like give the project everything that it would need to be fully realized and to reach people and to really like do the whole artist thing, I would like eventually to sign with a label. But at the moment, I do feel like
Okay.
I just have a lot to learn and um, I have a lot to build. I think build it and they will
Mm-hmm.
come, you know?
Okay. Yeah, so it's like you're sort of like you have this whole managerial perspective that you have to build first in order to understand how things are done so that you don't get screwed over later because you didn't know, even though
Yeah.
it's like easier to, yeah, okay. I get that. And also, you're mentioning that you have, marketing, like just ads or whatever, like just your whole Instagram page, including the songs and like Spotify clips. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stuff that we don't see, the design as well. What when you decided, hey, I want to do music, you were like, I'm sure there was like some bit of like naivete around like, all right, all I got to do is just make music, and then if it's good enough, it'll find its crowd.
For
No,
sure.
it doesn't
Yeah.
because the algorithms need like like the whole like what did you have to learn on the music that you create, and not so much just the like the music itself. Like the narrative is just as important because I mean you have obviously like the Gracie Abrams where it's like sad girl always crying about dudes that she wants. You need that narrative and that packaging for the music to find its crowd because it's like it's built off of stories, not just the music. So what when you had to like make the switch and be like, oh crap, I have to do everything now. How did you adjust? How'd you acclimate?
I think again with like the learner's mindset, like the first thing I started trying to do was just learning as much as I could. I've over
Mm,
the years subscribed to a million newsletters, a million different people who all share their tips and their tricks and their perspective. And I'm subscribed to a few things that like have nothing to do with music. Like there's this one creative direction Substack. I think it's called Art Direction. I think that's just the name of the Substack itself. That like is a completely
mhm,
different world from indie music. It's more like corporate advertising. But I think just learning as much as I can about branding and visuals and really just like building
yeah,
a world that my music can exist in hopes that I can then
mhm,
invite people into that. But I mean, the hardest thing to
mhm,
learn was social media because I was very resistant to it. I didn't get TikTok until like 2024. And then I had to learn how to use it. I'm not very tech savvy. And then you just have to learn
mhm,
how to be consistent and also be true to yourself while trying to get into the algorithm. Cause like I've had things
mhm,
literally get 0 views before because things can fall through the cracks of TikTok and the app can just be like, "Yeah,
yeah,
bye." So, it's trying to be
yeah,
seen while also, like, being yourself and being something that's, like, worth seeing. So, I
yeah.
think I'm kind of just starting to really find my rhythm with that. It's tough.
Wh- where'd you originally have like that resistance towards like TikTok and all of the social media? Where did that come from? Was it just like you wanting to be authentic and seeing that the algorithms are geared towards different things, or you just weren't very tech savvy, or was it like all those things? What was that for?
I think it was a mix of those things. It was kind of like a
Hmm.
I think part of it was like that defiance to like being told what you should do. It was like, well, what if I don't want to? Or what if I could make something
Yeah.
else work? But it's kind of
Hmm.
the way I see
Yeah.
it nowadays, like if you can share your music through any vehicle, and if it does take maybe just a different hashtag or a different video or a different platform or a different medium to make like the same song, the same clip, the same story reach the right people, that does tell me that like my music
Hmm.
maybe isn't the problem. Like maybe I do have something good. I just need to figure out how to promote it. So I guess it was kind of like
Hmm.
setting some of my ego aside and then being willing to like
Yeah.
do the work, put in the time, learn how to do these things and just
Hmm.
try and be consistent with it.
Hmm. And for you, do you enjoy the narrative building, story building, social media side, or just being in the studio, as you told me earlier, being in the weeds and just like writing the songs and, plucking at the guitar with your friend or collaborators or whatever?
I think I've come to enjoy both. I mean, I did always enjoy the like storytelling, world building, but I think I had a hard time like getting it out of my brain and into real life. And that's still
Hmm.
always a struggle. Like you can have ideas that are like outside of your budget, outside of your skill level. So it's just a matter of trying to bring it to life. But I think I'm starting to find the
Hmm.
creative side to the social media and all of that as well. It's still kind of a chore sometimes. And I would still,
Hmm.
I would always pick doing the work. And if I only have time for one or the other, like it's more important to be making music. So I would always choose that
Hmm.
if I didn't have the time. But I do think I've come to enjoy both a little more.
That's good. What's like you've released three singles so far, essentially. What do you have like a sort of pacing that you've come to, or one's like an EP or an album, or like do you know what's next? At least for now.
I mean, in the past, it was more just whatever I could do. There were a lot of
Hmm.
constraints of like time and budget, things not really working out, and just it like taking a long time to finish projects. Thankfully, that has accelerated a little bit. And yeah, I'm excited about like this
Hmm.
current project. I do think like an EP, a debut EP, is in the future. I want these songs that I'm putting
Hmm.
out recently to kind of have a home to live in and like a context that can bring them together and that world that people can step into. That's one of my favorite
Hmm.
things about making music, kind of like putting songs together and seeing the larger stories that they can tell together. So
Hmm.
that's definitely something that I would
Hmm.
like to do in the near future.
That's great. Yeah. My next question is, what do you want to get out of this career?
That is such a simple question, but at the same time such a complicated question that's like I
Hmm.
hard to answer. Cuz I mean like
Try to the best of your ability. Yeah.
everything kind of like maybe that sounds crazy, but I mean I just want to do the thing, really. Like
Hmm.
I want to be an artist and I want to be able to put out these music projects and I want to build that fan base that I think every artist hopes comes with it. Um,
Hmm.
I want to be able to tour. One of my long term goals would be a world tour.
Mm.
And I mean,
That's
like,
tough.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely long term. Um, there's a lot
Hmm.
of work in between, but I think it just goes back to like, this is how I want to spend my days.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather be doing that work. I would rather be on my way to these like lofty goals than maybe achieving other things that, we all have our goals and these are mine. And I mean, I do want to be able
Hmm.
to support myself doing this. I want to be able to quit my day job and be a full time artist. So, yeah,
Hmm.
everything, everything that comes with it.
Hmm. And do you feel you say everything, so this is kind of a bad question. Do you feel that there's any sort of cap on the success that you want? So maybe a point where you can like step back and say that this is enough? Or would you have to be in that position where you're like, you're like, I don't know, like Drake. And he's like, all right, next album, all right, three albums, all right, this. All right, I think I'm on my 17th. I think I'm fine. Are you gonna go like Bruce Springsteen and be on your 27th, and you're just gonna keep going and keep making just for the love of it? What to you is enough? What to you is like a catalog? Like, is there a catalog size you want that is like anyone could look at it and like from that they could take like I know you in a way? Or would you
Mm,
have to keep releasing music as you're growing for it to continually expand to the new person that you continually become as you go? Or is there sort of a limit on, I think this is enough, like this is all you need to know about me?
I mean, again, that's a really like interesting question that sounds simple to answer, but is really like not that simple. I mean, when it
Mm,
comes to like catalog, I do tend to think I don't know yet everything that I will make. I don't know yet everything that I'll experience. So, how can I know what ideas I'll have, what I'll be inspired to make, what I'll want to communicate? I do have a lot of
mhm,
ideas now. I have more ideas right now than I can feasibly bring to reality at the moment. So I can visualize like the next 5 years, the next
mm,
10 years. They say it takes 10 years to become successful. So again, I guess I just see myself really just working
mhm,
towards things. And I mean, when it comes to like a cap
mhm,
to success and to, fame and things like that, I do look at like big artists like Taylor Swift, and I think I would like to
mhm.
be able to um, continue to step out my own door without the whole crowds and the whole. It's always a big deal when they stick their noses out their houses,
Yeah,
Like there's still a
yeah.
certain amount
The
of
only way to enter the
privacy,
house is the Vogue interview.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
But I also think like what's the point in thinking about what you don't want? Like I would rather focus on what I do want because I think if you focus too much
Hmm.
on what you don't, what you look at is what you're going towards, right? So if you're focusing on what you don't
Hmm.
want, then that's what you're looking at. That's what you're going towards. So it's better, I think, to
Hmm.
just like focus on what you do want and focus on going towards that. I
Fair.
hope that
Yeah, I
answered that
like that
question.
viewpoint. Yeah, no, it did. It did. Next question is, in what ways has making music changed the way that you see other artists? And since you're no longer a passive fan or anything, and you kind of have an understanding of what it takes out of an artist to try and work to make great music, has like your taste sharpened and your ability to understand what is actually good for the consumer?
So I think mainly my music taste has really just expanded, really in just the past couple years alone. Like
Mm,
I've been on this ongoing journey of like music discovery. I've been trying to dig into genres that like both the ones that are similar to music I want to make and ones that are pretty different. I think it's really given me an
mm-hmm,
appreciation for how many different artists there are, and like the world of music is so vast. There are such completely different genres, and there are things that work for one artist that don't work for another, and vice versa. I think it's given
mm-hmm,
me an appreciation for just like we're all on these different journeys, and there really is space
mm-hmm,
for all of us. And
mm-hmm,
I think there's room to be inspired by other artists in ways that might not even show up in your work. And I mean, yeah, I'm always like trying to break down music and look at like, oh, that's really interesting, or that like really makes me feel. Why does it make me feel? And I can take some things away from that.
mm. Okay, okay. What are like you say the why it makes you feel away? What for years has been sort of like the recurring thing that's showed up in the things that make you feel the most? Like what's most resonant for you in music?
Hmm. Wow. I mean, I think for me, what's the common denominator across
Mm,
music that like really makes me feel is just that honesty and the willingness to like sit with whatever emotion it is
mhm,
that they're communicating, and the willingness to like really dig deep. Like my favorite album that's come out so far this year is The Great Divide by Noah Kahan.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always been very much like a deeply, like emotionally intelligent artist. And he's always
Yeah.
like really dug deep into these emotions. But this album, like never before. And these songs just like they punch you in the gut and
Mm-hmm.
like they make you really get into like
Exactly.
the situation that he's laying out, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could be even a
Mm-hmm.
really upbeat song, but it just like it
Mm-hmm.
really drags you in. And I think the key to that is just like honesty and like not intellectualizing emotions, not like trying to take yourself out of it, but letting it just be what it is in the moment.
Mm-hmm. What's your way of describing emotions the best in your music?
Mm. See, that's like the ongoing challenge of writing music to me. Like my main objective is just how can I
Mm-hmm.
best like capture this emotion? I think for me, what I always aim to do in most songs is that kind of like conversational way of getting it across. And like, how can I
Mm-hmm.
be succinct and vivid and um, like legible? I want to be
Mm-hmm.
understood and I want to make people feel
Yeah.
understood. So while I have like an
Mm-hmm.
appreciation for other people's like more abstract lyrics, like I really like Samia. She's an indie artist and she has some really like kind of cryptic lyrics and I have a real
Mm-hmm.
appreciation for her lyrics, but I don't think that works in my music. I'm more the
Yeah.
straightforward storytelling, conversational. Like I like to write deep, interesting, poetic lyrics, but I think sometimes it's more valuable to write something
Mm-hmm.
that just goes straight for your heart, even if it's not the most interesting way to say it. It's the most
Mm-hmm.
emotional.
Yeah. It's like visceral. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And on the topic of knowing, like, and getting to know a lot of artists, like, the indie ones, and just like, exploring your music tastes, uh, you're writing a newsletter. Is like, why are you so quiet? Right?
Hmm.
Is that it? Uh
That's
huh.
me. Yeah.
And yeah, and you wrote that this year you've been focused on fostering more intentional relationships. Do you sometimes feel that that might come in the way of kicking off your career? And how do you like reconcile having relationships or friendships or whatever, uh, while also work vulnerable like stage right now, uh, while also recognizing that like kind of rejecting relationships and friendship building is a way of just forcing you to only do work without opening the doors for any potential like connection and collaboration. Where do all three of those sort of like fall into place for you?
Yeah. I mean, it can be really tough to find the time for starters. There's so much to do. There's only so many hours in the day. But I
Hmm.
do think it's important to like rein yourself back in and remember like sometimes the most valuable thing you can do with your time is the thing that doesn't seem immediately productive. Like I can have this mindset of like I have to have a finished result. Um that's why like I'm so motivated to work on my newsletter. I have to I usually
Hmm.
post on Thursdays and Mondays. So I have to every Thursday and Monday have a finished result. But like obviously
Hmm.
relationships don't work that way. It's not as tangible, but it can be like so much more
Fair.
valuable. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's really important to not just personal relationships, obviously. Like you mentioned, like networking can really help you in your career. And like networking doesn't sound like a creative word, but like being open to those connections and doing your
Hmm.
best to nurture and maintain them even when time isn't always on your side. Like that's so important.
Hmm.
I mean, without forcing it, right? Because especially in creative fields. Like
Yeah.
when you click, you click. When you don't click, you don't click. So I think it's just being open to it, really.
But what about the situation where you don't click, but there's clear audience alignment and sort of like incentives? It's like imagine, uh, I don't know, Sabrina Carpenter hits you up and she's like, "Hey, let's jump on a track." I mean, are you gonna reject that? Because it's like I'm not a man child girly. I'm sorry, I didn't feel like I don't know. It's just
I
streams.
mean, that's so tough to answer right now because it's like such a hypothetical
Mhm,
for me. Like I haven't had
mhm.
anything like that come up yet. It's gonna
Yeah,
be 3 singles tonight. None of them so far are
yeah.
features or artist collabs of any sort. I mean, yeah,
Hmm.
like it's kind of knowing um, the right ways to connect with people sometimes. Like some people you could be friends, but it might not ever work out to collaborate. Some people you could be collaborators, but it doesn't really work out to be friends. And maybe there'll
Yeah.
be a place in my career where, like sound wise, creative wise, and maybe even fame wise, it would make sense to collaborate with someone like that. But like as of this
Hmm.
moment, obviously that would be crazy. But
Yeah.
I think it just takes a lot of discernment. You have to think about opportunities before you just jump on them.
Hmm.
And I mean, yeah, there's always that balance in commercial music between trying to appeal to your audience and trying to stay true to your creative nature and who you are as an artist. And I think you just have to try and navigate that as best you can.
Hmm. Okay. What motivates you as an artist? Is like
A
money,
lot of things.
audience, just creative freedom in your life? I don't know. Like, what is it? What is it now? What do you think it could be?
Mm. I mean, if money motivated me, I would probably be in a completely different business. Because this
Fair.
one, you have to put in so much more money before you start making anything in music. But I mean,
Mhm.
I think the first thing that really motivates me in music is just the music itself, like the projects, the
Mhm.
ideas. I have these ideas that keep me up at night. I have these projects that I can visualize so clearly, and I just want to bring them to reality. But then, there's that moment when you do share it with the world, and there's those moments that I always chase where like it's like locking eyes with someone across a crowded room and they just see you. And that's what I'm always
Yeah.
looking for with my music, the person who just gets it. So I think
Hmm.
it's like a mix of trying to connect with people, find the people who understand my stories and who really feel the emotions that I'm capturing, the people who just get it, you know? And
Hmm.
also just the projects themselves and wanting to see them come to life.
Hmm. Do you like having longer projects or shorter projects? Because I mean, right now you're at singles, then it's EPs. Is it ever like, all right, double album, triple album? Like, do you ever want to even get to that point, or are you just kind of like, I like it just kind of small, its own little contained story? Well, Christmas album, like Golden Hour for that, you just needed Christmas Tree Farm, and the whole story behind that and the production already got its own video and behind the scenes, and it was just a cool story. Versus a different thing where it's like you need the whole album, you need the whole tour for that album. Like, yeah. What's that for you?
I mean, at the moment, that's mainly decided by like what I have access to and what I'm able
Mhm.
to do, and really like what makes sense from a practical standpoint. I don't think an
Yeah.
album currently makes sense for me. I'm
Mhm.
still working on my craft. I'm still working on, if 1 in 10 songs that I write are good, then I have to write 100 to have 10 good songs. So I'm
Yeah.
constantly writing, constantly working. And then a lot of it's just waiting for like my resources to kind of catch up to the ideas and to kind
Hmm.
of have the ability to really do them justice. So whenever I do an album, I would want to like really do it justice, which is why I would probably
Hmm.
leave something like that off to when I do have, if not a label backing, at least more of a team around me, more honestly of a
Hmm.
budget, because it's
Hmm.
expensive. And the more songs you want to do, the more expensive it gets. So when you don't have a lot of money to spend, it's a matter of just like really trying to choose things wisely. So, at the moment it's
Yeah.
singles. I'm wanting to build up to an EP, maybe a couple EPs. But,
Hmm.
someday I would like to just be able to really serve the idea. And, if there's an idea or a project or something that seems like it really needs to be a like bigger undertaking, a longer project, I would like to be able to do that. But I mean, most of my favorite albums
Hmm.
are more like 12, 13, 14 songs. And then the exceptions to that are like outstanding. Like they have to be better than good to make up for just how long and dense they are. Like The Great Divide by Noah
Yeah.
Kahan or, The
Yeah.
Tortured Poets Department by Taylor
That's
Swift.
amazing. Yeah. Love it. What's your favorite song from that one?
The Tortured Poets Department, ooh,
Yeah.
it's hard to pick just one. Um,
Three.
Probably Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus from the
Hmm.
anthology side. And I also really
Hmm.
love I Hate It Here.
Mm. Okay. I really liked the Albatross was pretty good. How Did It
Mm,
End? How Did It End was my favorite. And then I also loved Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. It's pretty
yes,
good.
that's a
Yeah.
great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. And I'm curious, uh, you wrote about, and this is a bit of a longer question, so it'll take a while to read out, but you wrote that your anxiety and feelings of caution were the two forces that brought out the lyrics in your recent single, Calm Before the Storm. And in the lyrics, you were addressing this you character in the lines, sometimes I think we live in different worlds. The things that haunt my mind never cross yours. And when you say it's fine, you only make it worse. Who is this you, and what was their significance to you?
Well, so in the moment when I first wrote that song, which was actually a while ago, Calm Before the
Mhm.
Storm took quite a while to like really come to life.
Yeah.
The you specifically was actually my mother. I had just had
Oh.
this kind of like conversation argument with her. I don't even remember what it was about,
Mhm.
but I just remember I was very worried about something and she was more
Mhm.
dismissive of those worries. I was like, you just don't get it. You just don't get me. So
Mhm.
I went and wrote that song. And
Yeah.
then I kind of forgot about it for a long time. And when I picked it
Mhm.
back up, I was like, there's really so many people I think that this could apply to because I think I was realizing more and more that a lot of people don't deal with anxiety the same way that I do. Like
Mhm.
it is a present thing. Maybe every day, if not just most days for me. And I experience it like with just the most normal things and I've just gotten used to like working through that, but realizing
Mhm.
that there are people who go through life without really experiencing that, it's like we really do kind of live in different worlds.
Mhm. That's interesting. Are you someone who values the mark of being self-written or self-produced, especially right now as an indie artist where you're kind of taking on all of like the marketing and writing or collaboration outreach or efforts? Or are you more flexible with credits and inspiration that you get?
I mean, at the moment, all of my songs are produced by someone else. I would like to learn how to produce at some point, but I'm not there yet. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I do feel like you do kind of have to do like what's right for the song and what's right for the moment and what gets your creative juices flowing. So while I haven't
Mm-hmm.
done a whole lot of co-writing yet, I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
open to it. I do enjoy it. And I think like other people can always bring such a different perspective. They can bring different strengths and skills. They could bring something out of an idea that you wouldn't have on your own. But I mean, at the same time, it's always nice to look at like the credits of a song and the only person under the songwriter credit is my own name. It it's nice,
Mm-hmm.
like I did that kind of
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I know I'm not a published artist or whatever of the sort, but in my free time I sometimes make like little rap songs, and being able to write over a beat even if I didn't produce it is always really enjoyable because you get to like hear your music again. And it's like, man, I did that. I did that. The whole flow was amazing. I loved like the lyrics. I really love the feeling. Personally for me as a writer, I've always enjoyed just being the one person who did it, and so that's why I've always sometimes been averse to collaborations until I got onto Substack and realized that you kind of need collaborations to help you grow. But yeah, I just personally, I just really love um, just doing it myself in a way because it's like a whole DIY craft in a way for me.
Mhm.
Writing is it's self reflection. Yeah, but that's great that you sort of have like a different way of seeing it, which is that collaborations they can bring out more of an idea and a different perspective that you maybe couldn't have seen. So yeah, that's useful. hmm And in your single "Calm Before the Storm," you captured anxiety very eloquently. And in your last interview, I read that the lyrics came out in a sort of stream of consciousness way. It sounded like they were weighing on you for a while. And so I was wondering, do you think you're more of a tortured artist, or are you like a happy music girly? And what type of mood have you found that makes like the most sense for you to be authentic and vulnerable to an audience?
I mean, I think I definitely fall under the like sad girl music camp. I just love
Mm.
sad music. It makes me happy.
Why?
As, you know,
Interesting juxtaposition.
yeah, as like paradoxical as it sounds. Um, but I do find sometimes it's not best to try to write while you're in the thick of it. Like, I'll try it anyway, just because I'm always writing. But I do find
hmm
usually my best work comes when I'm more on the other side of an emotion or a situation, and I'm able to have kind of the benefit of some hindsight. And also, like when you can zoom out a little bit personally, you can like really bring your craft in. You can think about it as a story, and how do I best tell this story instead of more just like
hmm
crying on page.
Fair. Yeah. That's cool. And when you have just kind of done the stream of consciousness, but you're still in the thick of it, have you ever made something that was worthy of staying? Was it ever like more visceral, more authentic, and more real when you're in it versus out of it? And what for you makes it a lot easier, or not easier, but more authentic to write when you're outside of the experience, even though you're not like feeling it anymore, and so you wouldn't maybe have the same emotional resonance with it versus being in it and writing there, and that isn't good for you.
I think a song that has stayed in spite of being in the thick of it would be Calm Before the Storm, because it was written very much in that moment of like, I know that this anxiety is irrational, but it is present
hmm
with me. And I think when I'm on the other
hmm
side of that, it's like, I was worried about that. Come on. But, in the moment, I
hmm
was able to capture that.
Channel that. Yeah.
So I think a lot of it is just trying to get out of your own way. And sometimes when you're
Mhm.
in the moment, you're more in your own way than when you're on the other side. And then I think too, like, I want to share my music and I want other people to be able to connect with it. So it's not just my own like eyes and ears that I'm thinking about, because I'm not the only one, hopefully, who would perceive the song. So I do want to be able to capture it in a way that would also make sense to other people, and keeping in mind the fact that, like, I do believe once you put your music out in the world, it's not just yours anymore, right? That now
Fair.
it belongs to the
Mhm.
listener.
Mhm. Yeah. And so, like, even while you're writing it, it's best to just always think of the listener. That way, it doesn't kind of just stay you, and it's just kind
Right.
of weird. It's just a journal
Yeah.
entry.
I
Yeah.
want to be understood, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And legible, as you said. Hmm. Who are your major artistic influences? Because you make indie pop and you reference Taylor a lot, like in the recent essay in your newsletter about flying to Seattle and listening to Midnights, which I would say is a great way to spend a plane ride. I'd
It's
be
great.
interested to hear more about this. Who are like, yeah, who are the other artists who also kind of surround your music boardroom in your brain as you're writing new songs?
I love seeing it as a boardroom. I mean,
Hmm.
I would say it's a crowded boardroom. There's a lot of them.
Hmm.
Recently, like for this current project, I've been trying to really dig deep into some more like unexpected um like references and influences, because obviously like I'm
Hmm.
so inspired by Noah Kahan's storytelling and emotion, and I've been inspired by Taylor Swift since I was like 5 years old, you know. But I think
Hmm.
if you keep going back to the same inspirations and only those, you can get a little
Yeah.
um, like stale. So for like
Yeah.
this current project, I've been really inspired by like the Stranger Things original score. Like those scents, they're like haunting, a little
Hmm.
spooky, and they have these
Hmm.
sounds that they use that like it sounds like the 80s, but it also sounds like today, and it also kind of sounds like the future. So it has that like timeless quality to it. And then like
Hmm.
um Inside by Bo Burnham, his Netflix special, and just the way that he combines uh like social awareness, social and political critiques and commentary with
Hmm.
for him it's humor, but for me it's just being able to take a message and take an observation or a way of seeing the world, and you kind of Trojan horse it in like pop music. And
I like that. Yeah. That image
yeah,
is wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up, I
That's
listened
great.
to Marina and the Diamonds a lot. She's just Marina now. But something she
Hmm.
talked about before was kind of like that very concept of just pop music as a vehicle to getting those messages out into the world. So that's something I'm very
Hmm.
inspired by. And then, like, I mean, there's so many. There's influences that I think probably aren't super audible in my music, like Ethel
Hmm.
Cain. And then, of course, like Taylor Swift, you can definitely tell. But I think it all
Hmm.
works. Like, there are things in the recipe that you might not taste, but I think it would make a difference if they were left out.
Hmm. That's fascinating. And do you have, like, of the people in the boardroom, do you have a artistic sort of mentor? Or maybe that was like your piano teacher or a producer who left a big impression on you because they said something inspiring. Do you have a mentor,
Mm,
or is it kind of just this like sort of merging of all the people there, and it's like that is the person who's sort of informing you? What does that look
I
like?
think, yeah, I think it is more of emerging. Again, like, I try to kind of just have this wide taste and kind of have like an open mind and that like learner's mindset, and keep in mind that anyone can teach you something. But I mean,
Hmm.
I've been kind of a student of Taylor Swift's songwriting since,
Mm-hmm.
again, like I have memories of listening to her when I was very, very little.
Mm-hmm.
And I just grew up like kind of absorbing her way of storytelling, the way she crafts her lyrics, the way they're very specific and vivid, and yet they resonate with so many people. And I think that's kind of um, the trick of it that I've been kind of pursuing, you know?
That's great. Yeah. What fears or reservations do you have about AI entering the music industry? And are there any sort of adaptations that you think the industry must make in order to survive?
I have a lot of fears and a lot of reservations about that.
What are
um,
your biggest fears?
I mean, I hate the idea, even just outside of music, just in general in the world. I hate the idea of just not being able to trust anything that you see or hear.
Mm,
Like as AI gets better, you know, more realistic looking, and it's easier, I mean, harder to tell when something is AI, then it becomes hard to trust what you see online. It becomes hard to trust your own ears. It becomes hard to trust sources and news, and how do we know what's real, right? But it's also
mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
in the arts and in music specifically, that whole like this whole conversation this whole time about the emotions and about being seen and understood by other people and being able to
Mm-hmm.
capture these very human emotions in a way that other humans will hear and resonate and be like, oh, I'm going through that too. Oh, I've been through that too. Like, we get each other. We are all humans
Yeah.
in community, capturing our experiences, navigating our experiences through art. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's AI art, which cannot do any of that. You know, it can't
Yeah.
experience emotions. It can't have a hard time. It can't have a good time. It can't feel anything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
It has
what
no sense
can an AI
of
tell
time
me about being
connection.
human, right?
Fair. Yeah. Other than like reflect everything that you tell it and then it becomes a people pleaser, which is some humans, but it's not really used to the other shades of humanity. Yeah.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
it's really something. It's like I feel like it kind of needs to I was listening to like this music producer podcast, The Manager's Playbook. I don't know if you've heard them.
I think
But
I have. Yeah.
the guy he had this yeah. The host invited this guy from an ex executive from Interscope, and it was interesting that they were having this same discussion about AI. And the Interscope guy was like, we got to let it play out because, think of like the kid who didn't know how to play like a ukulele and he was still able to like get his like creative idea out. And so, you know, while there are, while in some ways it does sort of democratize the ability to make the music and express yourself, it comes at the expense of the artists who already have their property, like their intellectual property. Because to train it, you need to steal that and
Right.
then undermine copyright, and then it's like who can you even own the music that it makes because it's based off of things we made that you're pretending aren't ours. It's like this whole ownership crisis. It's like the whole
Yeah.
Taylor Swift Masters situation all over again, but with like everyone now. So I think we just need to like let it play out, but also install like some guardrails because
Mm,
it's pretty freaky.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I personally like. I would rather hear that guy who doesn't know how to play a ukulele do it badly. I would rather hear him trying. I would rather hear him learning, and then, he can make progress and suddenly he's so much better than he was. Like when I started writing
Hmm.
songs, I didn't know how to play piano at all. I just started writing lyrics and having melody ideas with nowhere to take them. And I still don't know how to play guitar very well. But I would rather stumble through a really bad guitar song and do that over and over and over again. Because again, I think it just
Hmm.
comes down to the difference between people who, like for me, it's about the process and it's about doing it and getting to spend my time doing it. I can't think of a better way to spend a day. And the people who
Hmm.
are focused on getting a result out of it, or gaming the system, or like flooding the streaming services with all of these cheap AI songs that make them all of these royalties. But,
Hmm.
I want to spend my days doing it.
Yeah, I don't think any of those people are gonna make it past Bandcamp,
They'll get
so I
bored
think
if
we'll be fine.
anything. It's not interesting.
Yeah,
It's not fun.
exactly. Yeah, that's because there's no artistic savvy behind it. It was just to do it to do it.
There's
Yeah.
no heart.
Any up? Yeah, yeah, no heart. Exactly. Any upcoming work? Like your mostly one woman show. Where can people receive the information about your
Yes.
SoCal thing? Let's hear about it a
Yes.
little.
So the mostly one woman show. It's gonna be me
Hmm.
and a friend of mine's gonna join me for a couple songs. We've been co-writing for the last little over a year now. We've met almost every week just to
Hmm.
have fun, write some songs, and we wanted to kind of show some of them now. Um, but that is, you can find information about it on my Instagram. Um,
Hmm.
and the tickets are only $5. So if you live in the area, I promise it'll be the best $5 concert you've ever seen. And if you don't
Yeah.
live in the area, I am planning on live streaming it on my TikTok. So I'm really
Hmm.
excited. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hopefully the TikTok fan base has the attention span to sit through more than
Hope
five
so.
seconds of the show.
Come on, guys. They can come in and out. It's okay. I know. I do it too.
Yeah. That's wonderful. And my quick final question, because somehow my battery is at 3% right now.
Oh
What's
dear.
one word of advice you'd like to give to your
Mm.
younger version of you now that you're closer to your dreams and aspirations than you were then? Like now that you have some certainty on the thing that you want to do for the rest of your life.
I think some of the best things that I've ever done for myself was take the time to really listen to my internal state and what I need and what I want and who I really am, taken
Hmm.
apart from who I think I should be, and to start to really honor that and go after that and believe that my dreams are worth chasing. And also,
Hmm.
like get out of bed and actually do the work to chase them. Like start doing the
Indeed.
practice, start learning,
Hmm.
and keep on. I think that's
Yeah,
really the best thing I could have told myself.
that's really wonderful. Man, I'm very grateful that we had this conversation today. I don't even think that was 20 questions. It was more like 25.
It
But
was
yeah, it's
great.
really wonderful that you have the single. For there's like 11 viewers right now, but I'm sure there's going to be more on YouTube. But
Hi,
you have the
guys.
single coming out. You have the single
Yes.
coming out later tonight, and then as well as your mostly one woman show with the friend that you're going to be streaming on TikTok. So there's going to be a lot of content on your side, and I'm going to be like busy, hopefully making this video into something special for my Instagram page as well. But it was really wonderful getting to speak with you today, and I truly hope that you continue to grow exponentially into the best artist you could be possible. I'll be
Same to you.
very interested in. Thank you. I'm very interested in hearing the new single when it comes out tonight, so I'll be checking that out.
Yes, today's the day.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. This was
Right.
great.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, have a good one. Thank you.
You too.